I asked you guys in the previous video if you wanted me to go over the earlier seasons and check out the differences in the games compared to the manga. And a few of you seem really interested, so why not? I just want to say thank you for that. So make sure to stick around to the end because even I noticed some pretty interesting changes from the manga. If you're a fan of the series, you're definitely going to want to hear this. Anyway, let's not waste any more time. This one's going to be a bit of a longer ride than Season 3. So starting off with Dead or Alive, which is the Three of Clubs. This game actually isn't in the manga. Instead, the Three of Clubs in the manga was the fortune game we saw in Season 3. There aren't really any similarities between the two, different setting, different rules, but one thing that does stay the same is the plot point. Chota still ends up with the same leg injury. In the show, his leg gets caught in the fire, while in the manga, he gets shot by a flaming arrow instead. The Dead or Alive game was completely an original version by the live action. Next up, we've got the game of tag, which is the Five of Spades. Now, the Netflix version of this game is actually pretty different from the manga. First off, the time limit is 20 minutes instead of 30, and the landmines around the apartment building, yeah, those are completely removed. Instead, anyone who tries to leave just gets lasered in the head. The save zone is also entered through a second door in the unlocked room, and the building itself is T-shaped instead of L-shaped, with 7 floors instead of 9. It also only has 1 stairwell instead of 3. Plus, the tagger shows up from the elevator instead of the safe zone. Aguni and Tata make their first appearance in this game, while Kurube never assumes that Arisu was killed like in the manga. Now let's move on to probably the most traumatizing game for all of us, the hide-and-seek game, also known as the Seven of Hearts. This one also has a ton of differences compared to the manga version. For starters, Kurube uses a machete instead of a hatchet like in the manga, and the time limit changes from 10 minutes to 15. The helmet design is different too. In the manga, players wear an eyepiece connected by wires to the collar, while in the live action, it's goggles connected by a metal spine to the collar. If you remember, in the show, Arisu brings multiple screwdrivers and tries to disarm the explosive collar to save everyone, but in the manga, he just runs away to save himself right away. Also, Chota only gets the wolf roll once in the series, but in the manga, he gets it twice. And there's a part where Shibuki has to be restrained by Chota, which doesn't happen at all in the manga. Oh, and one more thing. There's no mutton prize in the live action, and the whole botanical garden burning scene from the manga doesn't happen in the series either. Next up, we've got the distance game, the Four of Clubs, which is completely different in the manga. There, it's actually called the Runaway game, and it also takes place in a tunnel, just like in the series, but this time it's overseen by Kuzuryu. The bus is still the goal, same as we know, but the players are totally different. It's not Arisu and Usagi. And get this, Kuzuryu is actually saved by an unknown girl, and the two of them are the ones who clear the game. The time limit is also changed. Instead of 120 minutes, it's only 50 minutes in the manga. In the show, we saw things like water bottles, a black panther attacking the players, and even a tsunami flooding the tunnel. But in the manga, it's way more chaotic. After 10 minutes, a cheetah is released, then after 20 minutes, there are crocodiles and water, a snowstorm after 30 minutes, and finally an explosion at 50 minutes. Even the solution to the game is different. Besides the word gold spray painted on the bus, there's also a dictionary inside that gives the translation for both goal and runaway. The bus itself is super durable and even has a heater, which lets the players survive. In this game, only the ones who don't ignore an injured player are able to clear it. Next up, we've got the Four of Diamonds, also known as the light bulb game. This one is actually pretty much the same as in the manga, but of course, there are still a few differences. First off, the electrical wires are replaced with a whole electrical transformer in the live-action version. The player limit is also different. In the series, there are 9 players inside the reservoir, while in the manga, it's unlimited players inside a closed room. And just a small note, only An and 3 other players take part in this game. Arisu, Tata, and Quina aren't part of it at all. Now, let's talk about the Beast Hunter game, the Six of Spades. Surprisingly, in the manga, this game actually takes place in a zoo instead of an amusement park. The player count is way different too. In the show, there are around 21 players, while in the manga, it's only 5. Also, Aguni isn't wounded or scarred by a tiger during the game like we see in the show. In fact, the whole moment where he knocks the tiger unconscious is changed, because in the manga, he actually crushes its head open instead. Oh, and here's something interesting. Aguni gets his iconic scar from this game in the manga after a fight with a cheetah, but in the Netflix version, that injury happens during his clash with the horse head. And finally, we've reached the last game of the first season, the Ten of Hearts, also known as the Witch Hunt. In the manga, the player limit was 66, including the dealers, but in the show, it's around 192, based on the number of phones on the table. This is the last numbered game that needs to be cleared at the beach, but in the manga, the card is never collected because it gets destroyed in the fire. Overall, there aren't too many major differences between the two versions. And just like in the manga, Arisu and An figure out who the witch is really in the end. Alright guys, moving on to Season 2, starting with the first game that literally everyone had to play, the King of Spades. No registration needed for this one. It's the longest game in the season, lasting across all 7 episodes and almost wiping out every main character, all because of just one citizen. Now there's actually an extra rule in the manga that the show didn't include. In the manga, the visa extension is only granted to the player who personally kills the King of Spades. And the way the king dies is also different too. In the series, Aguni shoots him after that explosion caused by Arisu, but in the manga, Aguni kills him by breaking his neck instead. Plus, Arisu and the others aren't involved at all. It's just Aguni, Heya, and one other player who take him down. Next up, we've got the King of Clubs, also known as Osmosis. In the manga, this was actually the only game that featured more than one citizen. But in the Netflix version, both the Queen of Clubs and Jack of Spades games also had multiple citizens. Other than that, there really aren't any major differences in this one, guys. Alright, let's jump to the next one, the Solitary Confinement game, also known as the Jack of Hearts. And you wouldn't believe this, but Shishiya actually wasn't part of this game in the manga at all. The only ones who cleared it were Yaba and Banda. Oh, and fun fact, Matsushita, the Jack of Hearts, actually has a prosthetic eye in the manga. Did you know this game was likely filmed at the now closed Nara prison in Nara Prefecture? In the series, it takes place in Teiyo prison, while in the manga it's just simply referred to as a penitentiary. Also, the identity of the Jack of Hearts is first figured out by 2 other players. Then later, Banda and Yaba form a sudden but strong alliance, realize the Jack is the last remaining player, and finally uncover his tactics. Alright, we're not going to talk about the Jack of Spades and the Queen of Spades games. And here's why. The Jack of Spades was actually a new addition made just for the live action, and the Queen of Spades wasn't really an important plot point in the manga. It might have been mentioned, but it was never developed into an actual physical game with a proper character. So yeah, we can just forget about those. They're considered original plot elements made for the Netflix version. Alright guys, next up is the King of Diamonds, also called Balance Scale. In the manga, it's actually called the Beauty Contest game. The players are the same in both versions, so no big differences there. The time limit is a bit different though. In the show, it's 3 minutes per round, while in the manga, it's only 1 minute per round, except for rounds 11 and 13, which change after additional rules are added. Oh, and the Aqua Regia used in the manga, it's replaced with sulfuric acid. Next up, we've got the Queen of Clubs, also known as Target. An and Queena take part in this one. This game is actually one of the exclusive face card games made for the Netflix adaptation. It's an original game that wasn't in the manga at all. And finally, the last game of Season 2, the Queen of Hearts, also known as Croquet. The players are the same as in the manga, Arisu, Usagi, and Mira, just the 3 of them. The venue is a rooftop garden in the Netflix version, while in the manga, it's a rose garden. The conditions and rules are pretty much the same. One interesting difference, in the Netflix version, it's made clear that Arisu doesn't drink the psychohalogenic tea, which makes you wonder why he starts hallucinating the psych word on his own. In the manga, Mira admits that she didn't really know what the Borderlands were either, but confirms she was a psychiatrist in her real-life job. She also hints that she chose to stay in the Borderlands as a citizen because she was tired of always being left behind by recovered patients in her real-life job. And that's it, guys. By the way, if you didn't know, I already did a video like this for Season 3, which you can check out on my channel. I also have a video talking about the possibility of Season 4 if you're interested. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments which difference surprised you the most, the one you never expected. Thanks so much for watching, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys later.